Hey, this is the lesson video for some extra practice on finding the area of composite figures. So we are just going to work on 1, 2, 7, and 8 with this, and you won't have to do these 4 in the middle. So let's get started. By the way, you should have already done these problems, and this should be going over to see if you were correct. So in this shape here, first thing is we're going to break it down into something we recognize. So I kind of think if I split it right there and right here, then I have two triangles, triangle 1 and triangle 2, and notice they're the same. And then I have one rectangle in the middle. So let's get started. First off, I'm going to find the area of this rectangle in the middle, which I'll highlight. It's right in this area. So I see that the height of it is 8 feet and the width is 16 feet. So for a rectangle, remember, it's just length times width. So you just do 8 times 16, and you get 128. So that's just the rectangle. Now for the triangle, remember I need the formula. Area is half times base times height. So we need half times the base. Now remember, the base here is right here is going to be 16. And the height, which would have to go straight up because it has to form a right angle with the base, is right here. See, that height is 8. So it's half times 16 times 8. And then you solve that. Now you could type it in a calculator, or I know half times 16 is 8, and 8 times 8 is 64. So the area of this triangle will be 64, and that means the area of this triangle is 64. So then all we have to do is add those together. So remember, you could use a calculator, but I have 128 plus 64 plus 64. 8 and 4 and 4 is 16. 6, 12, 13, 14, 15. Carry the 1, 2. So my answer to number 1 is 256 square feet, because area is always square units. So if you had that, give yourself a C. Now, let's go over and take a look at number 2. So in this one, a lot of people want to split it just right here and say, I'll find the area of these two things. But think about it. What is a shape that looks like that? We don't know a formula for that, so we can't split it just there. But here's what we can do. We can split it into 3, I don't know if they're squares or rectangles yet. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to find the area of all 3 of those. So let's start with this one. So we do 12 times 12 is 144. Now for this one, we do 12 times, that's got to be 12 as well, to get 144. And then for this little one in the middle, I'll switch to orange here. So we know it's 4 high, and we know it's 4 wide. So 4 times 4 is 16. So let me write that in purple. You can't really see it. So that middle one is 16. So to find the total area, we have to add those up. 144, 144, and 16. And you get 14, 10, 3. So our answer to this one should be 304 square meters. If you had that one right, give yourself a C. All right, 2 down, 2 to go. Let's go down to number 7. This one looks a little fun, but I guess it's not too bad. So first, if I split it right at this red line here, and I seem to have a triangle. This is my triangle here, and it seems like I have a parallelogram right there. So I think I can find the area by finding those 2 areas. So let's start with the triangle. Remember, the area of a triangle is half times base times height. So I have half times, let's say we use this side as the base, which is 8, and we'll use the 10 as the height. And half times 8 times 10 is 40. So the area of this triangle would be 40 square feet. Now remember, parallelogram is only area is base times height. So for this one, let's say we use this whole top here, which is 17. And the height would have to go straight down because it has to form a right angle. And notice they give it to us over here. So it's going to be area is base is 17 times the height is 9. So if we just do 17 times 9, you get 153. So the parallelogram has an area of 153. So the last thing we need to do is add those two areas up, the parallelogram plus the triangle, and you get 193 square feet. Okay, 3 down, 1 to go. All right, last one is this sucker here. So this one, I'm trying to look where I would split it. So I'm thinking if I split it here, then I have a trapezoid up here, and it should be identical to the trapezoid. Oh, wait, no, it won't. Because notice this base is 10 and this base is 18. Yeah, so these are different trapezoids, but I'm still going to split it there. And then I just have a nice rectangle in the middle, which will be easy to get. Okay, so let's start with trapezoid 1. Let me use my eraser to clear up all these marks. All right, so we're going to start with trapezoid 1. Let me draw that line there. So first off, remember the area of a trapezoid is area is half times the height times the base 1 plus base 2. So let's plug in these numbers. So we have half times the height. Now the height, if you notice, is right here, is 5. So half times 5 times, now we have to find base 1 and base 2. So base 1 would be 18, but here's where you have to be careful. 18 is actually, see how these arrows are here and here? So the 18 is actually the distance from here to here. So 18 is actually that longer base. I'll call that base 2. Now base 1, I'll put on a red highlighter here. Make it a little wider. Base 1 here, we actually have to steal from the bottom down here. So base 1 is actually 10. Oops, that's the highlighter. All right, so now we find that area. So half times 5 times 10 plus 8, and that equals 70. So just this trapezoid is 70. Now I do realize the bottom trapezoid is also the same, because if you look here, this base is 18 from the top, and this base is 10, and the height is the same. So that's some good news, because that means this trapezoid has an area of 70 as well. It'll save us some work. And then the last thing I have to do is find the area of the rectangle. So notice this 20 is from here to here, and we know from here to here is 18. So the length times width is 18 times 20, which is 360. So we have 3 areas. The rectangle is 360 plus 70 for the one trapezoid and 70 for the other trapezoid. We'll add those up, and we get our total area of 500 square feet. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for this video. So remember, you do not need to do the 4 in the middle. So you just had to make sure 1, 2, 7, and 8 are done. If you have any questions, make sure you ask me. Thanks for watching.